guys, welcome back to Kitchen King. Today we're back with another great recipe for you. In spite of the holidays, we're going back to the Middle East. Today we're creating some lamb chops, marinated in some lime juice, some fresh cilantro, and some other veggies to grill to go along with it. Today we have our Anaheim peppers, some tomatoes, some onions, some cilantro, some red chili peppers, mushrooms, garlic. For seasoning, we're doing crushed black pepper, paprika, some salt, and some olive oil. We're gonna start up by cutting up our lamb chops into 2 bone pieces, putting them in a bowl, and creating our marinade. But before we get to all of that, we're gonna set up our fire and get our grill started. We're out here by the grill by the Weber. We filled up our chimney with some lump charcoal, and we're about to start it up. For our setup, we got just a regular steel chimney that you could get at any of your local hardware store. We're using lump charcoal that you also can get at your local Menards. Costco sells the cowboy charcoal, which I like to use. This is what we have here. And underneath for my fire starter, I'm using some Weber white cubes. They work really well. They get the fire nice and hot and gets going. In about 20 to 30 minutes, our charcoal will be ready to go to dump out and start cooking on. In the meantime, we're gonna run back into the house and we're gonna start prepping our lamb chops. Getting to the meat, we're gonna take our lamb chops. We already pre-seasoned them a little bit earlier today with salt, trying to get them to dry up to create a nice bark on it when we're gonna be grilling them. And we're gonna be cutting up, as we said, into 2 bone pieces. You wanna start out with getting your knife nice and sharp. Look at that, cuts like butter. 2 bone pieces, as we stated earlier. It'll work nice when we throw them on our skewer. Once we got our meat in our bowl, we want to drizzle it with some olive oil. The olive oil will act as a binder for our seasoning. We want to season it nice and heavy with some kosher salt. We got some salt, then we got some crushed black pepper. After black pepper, we're going to hit it with some paprika. Once we got our seasoning added, we're going to go with some of our garlic, mince it up, and throw it in there also. Give it a good whacker and mince it up. Just a reminder, guys, before you start slicing up your veggies, make sure that you wash your cutting board and your knife after you cut your meat. After you slice up your garlic, you want to add in a good dose of some cilantro. Give it a nice good cut. Mince it up just like you would with the garlic to make sure that every piece of meat is coated with this awesome herb. I want to add about 2 fresh limes to the lamb chops. Being that they're so fatty, I like to add a lot of acidity so it offsets that fatness. Give it a good mix, make sure all the meat is coated in all the salt, the oil, all the herbs, the garlic, and the lime juice. While our meat is marinating and our grill is still getting hot, we're gonna start prepping our serving station, the way we're gonna serve it onto the table. You know the motto I go by, it's only as good as it looks. If it looks good, it's gonna taste good. We're gonna start out with chopping up thinly slicing some raw onion. Once we got our onions chopped, we're gonna spread it out onto our serving plate. Just a nice bed of onions. Take out all the ugly chunks. Once you guys got your bed of onions, we're gonna add on some fresh cilantro. When you guys throw the hot lamb chops onto the fresh onion and to the fresh cilantro, it's gonna produce aromas like you've never smelled before. Sprinkle it over the onions. Look at that, guys. It's been about 15 minutes. These charcoals are pretty much ready to go into the grill, and we're almost ready to start skewering up the meat and to start grilling it. So you take them nice chunks and you slide it right through the center between the two bones. I got these skewers on eBay. They are 1 inch thick. If I had to buy them again, I'd probably go with about 1/2 inch thick, 1/2 inch wide skewers. You want to keep them spaced apart just so you can get a nice grill around all sides of the meat. We got all our meat skewered up. We're out here checking on our grill. We're gonna poke our coals a little bit, spread them around to get a nice heat platform, and then we're gonna start grilling. Look at that, nice and hot. This is how you want them. You want it hot, especially when you're cooking a fatty meat like lamb chops. You want some really, really hot coals. Now the grill is nice and hot and ready, and we're ready to set our meat onto the hot coals. You guys hear that sizzle? That's how it's supposed to be like. While it's cooking like this, you want to churn it periodically so you don't burn, but you still want a nice char on the outside. We're about halfway done cooking our lamb chops. You guys cook them as long as you want, whether you like them hockey pops or rubber tires, or you like them rare like I do. Lamb chops usually is done at about 145 degrees. You want to make sure that you have a thermometer hidden in your purse and you can check your guys' meat. We're at about 85 degrees right now, so we still got a little bit to go. It's been about 15 to 20 minutes. We already reached temp. We're at 125 to 130 degrees. I like them rare, so we're gonna leave them at that. We're gonna pull them off and we're gonna fry up a little bit of vegetables. We're done with cooking our meat. We put it inside. We're gonna let it rest for about 10 minutes, get them nice and juicy. In the meantime, we're gonna grill up some vegetables. We don't need to grill them long. We just want them to wilt a little and get hot. We got some Anaheim peppers. Got some red chilies. And we got some tomatoes. We're gonna cook them for about 10 minutes or so, just to let them char up and give them a flip every once in a while. After about 3 to 4 minutes, we're gonna give them a nice flip. Look at those char marks on there. Beautiful. Look at that. Flip our mushrooms. It's been about 10 minutes. Our veggies are done. We're gonna pull them off and go start plating up our meal. Now that the lamb chops are done resting and our vegetables are done grilling, we're ready to assemble our dish. We're gonna start out with putting and arranging our vegetables on one side, and then we're gonna add our meat to the other side. Look at that, guys. Beautiful. Now we're done assembling our dish. We spread a little bit of white onion on top, a little bit more cilantro. The aromas, guys, are amazing. These lamb chops are hot. I'm gonna go ahead and cut into one and show you guys what this looks like when it's done. Guys, pretty much rare, lots of pink. The fat is just juicing out. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. This is what I like to see a lamb chop look like. And we're done with our dish. It's time to give it a taste test. Look at the texture of this. Just look at it. So nice and pink. The juice is just coming out. Oh my goodness, guys. So tender, so juicy. Perfect amount of seasoning. The vegetables look great. We're gonna add a little bit of onion. Oh my goodness, this is so good. I'm gonna take another one. Put a little bit of onion on there. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is where it's at. You guys could cook this also on your gas grill if you have one at home. Lamb chops I got at Costco. Any veggies are at your local grocery store. I'd like to serve this with naan bread. That might be our next video. Take a look, stay tuned. And that's a wrap for today's video. If you guys have any questions, any suggestions, post, comment, share, and subscribe. See you guys next time.